so that we can go. Okay. All right. So today we are doing auric upgrade. So like your auric field can be layers deep with different colors and different frequencies. There are auric fields that are closer to you that are going to provide you things like comfort and safety and protection. And there are auric fields in the middle. And then there are ones further away, like your outer shells, which are like your ways of interacting with your environment and more of like that adventurous, like reaching out kind of energy. So today I was really, really drawn to specifically call on the Seraphim angels to help us with this. And the goal today is to upgrade the frequency of your auric field. It may be different for everybody. I'm not sure if we're going to do all the layers. They're all going to get upgraded, but our aim is to get to the 15th dimensional frequency in our auric field. So whether we do that on the very outer field and then the rest also get upgraded, bumped up quite a few steps, or whether they're planning on doing like a full 15th frequency throughout, we'll find out. And then also I had this vision because I always like tune in and channel what needs to happen, right? I had this vision of how we are outgrowing our etheric auric fields, which feel very like almost flimsy. And maybe that's all we needed. But now that we're moving into higher dimensional frequencies in our consciousness, 60 frequencies in our body, and we're doing all this spiritual work in the dimensions, like we're going into the astral realms, and we're going into higher realms, and they're showing me like even when we're timeline jumping, that we need an upgraded aura material. So what the goal would be then for the material piece, not so much the frequency, is that it would go from etheric, which feels easy to tear, to a diamond coated plasma, which looks like this silver sparkling, like diamond sparkling goo, like a sparkling liquid goo that is so much more. I don't know if anyone's heard of plasma, but it's just got so much more substance to it than the ethers, right? Okay. Excuse my throat. So Carolyn is asking, what is the Seraphim's purpose or specialty? Oh, Carolyn, I love this question. So the Seraphim are like the right hand of God, or goddess, if you like that, meaning that they are the highest beings, like parallel to God, basically. So they are in the highest, dimensions that we have in existence. So the highest dimensional frequencies that we can go. Now, Seraphim beings is technically angelic. So these are a version of angels that are really, really, really high. Now, I want to say when you are inside of a dimension, like they are inside of a dimension. When you are inside of a dimension, you are in a incarnation. So that means that you are like playing a role whenever you're in an incarnation. So they are not just the pure soul, like an oversoul would be a pure soul. Okay, so like on the family tree, I don't know where it is right now, on the soul family tree that we have, it's like God source, and then right after that is oversouls. So when I say highest being, I mean within a dimension. Okay, so within a dimension, it's the highest that you can get, but in a dimension still. So if we don't understand that, then I can go deeper into that. But I feel like we've talked about this a lot, where it's like when you're outside of dimension, you're the pure soul, you're not playing a role, you're not in an incarnation with a beginning and an end, you just are, right? So God source, oversouls, all that kind of stuff, people in the in-between. When you're inside of a dimension, you're in a lifetime that has a soul contract, a beginning and an end, you're playing a role or a character. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a negative thing at all. Okay. And these angels and these seraphim and all of that can have the longest lifetimes, but it still does have a beginning and an end. So, just because it has a beginning and end doesn't mean it's like a human life. Ours are ridiculously short. It could be millennia, more than that. What's bigger than that? I don't know. Like it could be so many eons of ages. So I hope that describes it. So the highest angelic dimension is where the seraphim exist. And when people have tried to draw them or paint them or explain what they look like through their third eye, it's like an orb of light with wings attached to it. And the wings often have eyes on them. And sometimes the center orb of light can be like an eye as well. There's a lot of eye symbolism because they're like at the top of the perspective, so they can look down over everything and everyone. And so they would definitely be receiving, like, I believe that they would be receiving their missions and their work and their inspirations directly from God's source, because they're at the top like that. And so they would be kind of like a go-between for people. So they would be like the people out there saving lives, not the people, you know, the beings out there saving lives and creating miracles and like just the highest divine energy that can exist in a dimension. But because they exist in a dimension, they can affect you more than if they were outside of dimension, right? So when something is in a dimension, there's more of like an elevator effect where it's more connected to you, versus outside of dimensions where we see like God or oversouls, they're a little bit outside of that. And it's not that they can't affect us, but this feels more potent, right? The elevator of dimensions feels more potent. And so because they're in the elevator of dimensions, it's like they've agreed to be of service to humanity. Not only humanity, oh my God, they would be of service to like all worlds, all beings. Like they're not limited in any way. So they aren't able to, you know, it's not as if they only work with Earth or humanity. It's just that our minds, like, how can we conceive of it? You know what I mean? So they're at the very top of this dimensional elevator, and they're receiving these inspirations from God's source about how to help and who to help and what to do. And then they take these missions and they're able to like connect down through the dimensions to create huge things like time travel and miracle healings, and just crazy circumstances. And these miracles that they, like, say a mother lifting a car off of a baby, or like just something crazy like that, these miracles are in alignment with that soul's divine soul contracts. So it's like they're a helpful participant in the happy miracles to keep you on track in your soul contracts and stuff like that. So like the ultimate healers, but can be intimidating. And so like a lot of people don't work with them because they are a little intimidating to feel. Like the energy of them is so intense. It's like, whoa. And they were like described in the Bible a lot of times as being super intimidating as well, as having booming voices and many faces and many eyes, and like kind of scary, right? And we have to understand that it's their power that makes them intimidating, because they're just so close to God's source. It's like the power that they have definitely can feel intimidating. However, they are all love. Like they are all about the highest good for all involved. You know, like when we're trying to connect with that, it's like there's never anything to fear. There's never anything to fear. It's always going to be for your highest good. It's always going to be exactly what you need in the moment. And it's really powerful to call them in intentionally instead of just waiting for a miracle in your life. It's like, what if you like intentionally connected with them, because we can, and said, hey, like, this is what I want. And they're like, actually, okay, like we can do that. And then we get into the chicken before the egg or the egg before the chicken thing, the like whole like question around if they help us upgrade our auric fields today, and they will, and we actually get to this 15th dimensional frequency. Was it written in our soul contracts first and then it had to happen? And then this was all destined to happen? Or where the soul contracts just had space for something like that, and it was going to be for our highest good, and then we just get to have, like, soul contracts aren't all predestined. We also have free will, as we know. So, or is this just a free will thing where you just happen to like come along with me on this like crazy request and then it happens? So it's like, which one is it, you know? Okay, let me answer some questions. Are the Seraphim considered the highest vibrational beings in the angelic realms? Yes. Carolyn, I remember drawing a giant eye when I was in my artistic phase and I didn't know why. Maybe it was a Seraphim communicating with me. Could have been, absolutely could have been. Good. Yes, sending lots of healing energy. Good. Okay, any questions about the Seraphim that you want me to channel and answer on before we jump into actually calling them in like to your space with you? So again, don't be intimidated by the amount that you feel, this amount of power. You are safe. I promise you are safe. We've worked with the Seraphim before in this group, whether or not you've been a part of that. It is intense. It is really intense. You might get really hot, or you might get chills, or you might feel a lot of pressure, or you might feel just like, you know, when you feel a presence in the room with you, you might feel that. Whatever way you feel it, it's divine and beautiful. And power doesn't have to be scary. It's just big. It's just big, right? Okay, good. Okay, Evelyn's asking, when do we call on Seraphim versus archangels? That is such a great question. So I use archangels for like really specific protection, healing, communication. What else? Like to work with me on what I have already going on, basically. And I think that Seraphim angels are really good for like changing you in some way. You know, like you're not necessarily asking to just upgrade what you have. You're asking for something like brand, like so new to you. So I would say and you know what, also the answer to that is you need to call on the Seraphim when you feel inspired to call on the Seraphim. So if you're ever seeing the imagery of your mind of them, or if you're ever seeing like the numbers like 14 or 15 coming in a lot, which would be their dimension, or if you're ever feeling like you want to work with an angelic presence that feels like a god, like more godlike, then that would be the time for that. And then for me, like I said, I just think for me, it's like when I want to completely quantum leap something about my being. Like, okay, I want to fully change my auric field, or okay, I want to completely like install a brand new heart chakra, like something brand new. It's not an upgrade of the old. We're gonna like either remove and then reinstall, or put something over it. So something like brand new like that. Keegan, are they individual beings? Are they more of a collective? So the answer to that is both in a way. So the collective of the Seraphim is like it's what people called in the Bible Holy Spirit. What did they say Holy Spirit was? They said it was the hand of God, the action of God. It traveled and did the things that God wanted to happen, or goddess, right? I know that God is a word that triggers people, so please don't let that trigger you just because I'm thinking biblically right now. So it's like in the Bible, the Holy Spirit was the action taker of the desire of God. This is what that's like, right? So that feels like a collective, and yet you can have just one, like an individual, have a specific work with you. Like for instance, today we might have different seraphims visit us, but maybe half the room has one seraphim that works for all of us. And it has to do with your frequency and what's going to work best for you and what you're going to call in. Are you going to call in a certain color or a certain shape? Or, you know, they all have different soul signatures because all souls are unique, and they are souls, so they are unique. So what's going to work with me? Well, maybe a more feminine one, maybe more like the color purple and silver, or maybe more like something that resembles more of like a peacock, or with those colors, like whatever it is that's going to put me at ease and interact with my energy field the best, and be able to truly like work in my energy field, might be different than what Aurora needs. Maybe she needs a whole other kind of frequency that's more of like a masculine feeling and a different kind of color, and more of like a less gentle or something, you know what I mean? So yes, they're individuals, but they all also know, as a, not a hive mind, because I don't like that, but as a collective mind, they would also all know what each one of them is up to. Like they're so connected to God source, each other, and I feel the other angelic realms. I feel like they're just as connected to the other angelic realms, and they almost hold everything and are able to know everything that is happening, and that helps them to do their work. And I even just got this download as I said that it's not just the angelic realms. They said, remember when you said elevator and that they were at the top of the elevator, they can see it all the way down. So there's no limitations to their perspective or to what they can view or watch. They don't have to even travel. They can just look. They can just somehow they're all those eyes, I guess is why they have all these eyes. They can look at any dimension at any point in time on any timeline. They can look and see and report back to God source if necessary, or do whatever needs to be done. So they're like the ultimate seers. So, I mean, that's also what makes them super unique. Jill's asking, do they know what we need specifically, or do we need to have a general idea of what we are seeking? I think when working with any higher dimensional being or oversoul, it's such a good idea to communicate what you would desire to maybe even feel. If you don't know what you need, then how do you want to feel? And you don't even have to use words necessarily for that. But if you're sending like, oh, I just want to feel better, I just want this, or I just want that, you can send a general idea of how you want to feel after the transformation. So yeah, I do think that it's important to always communicate that. That's just good practice. However, that doesn't mean that's all that they would do. They would also be able to see in, and so everyone requires free will. And so by being here and wanting to do this with me today and calling them into your space, that's you giving your free will. So maybe that was also kind of in a way your question. It's like, well, can they just come and do whatever they want? No, nothing can, not even God source. Literally not even God source, because that's how strong free will is. Okay, so definitely not a seraphim. But if you say, I want to work with you, or if you pray to God for help, you pray to the angels for help, you ask for help, you're giving your free will consent, and then they can come in and not only help you with what you think you need help with, but so much more. I call on the archangels every single day. Archangel Michael to vacuum and clean my aura on a daily basis. Yes, that is such a good practice. Such a good practice. Carolyn wants to know if the Seraphim can help with Kundalini rising. Let me ask. It's definitely not something that I feel like is their area of expertise at all. Kundalini rising feels very much like a personal journey within, where you are unblocking your inspirations and your passions all the way up through the top of your head. And it's so intertwined with your own, again, free will and how much you can hold, that they could never override that. So Kundalini is so internal and so connected to the mind that you don't want to fry that circuit. So they're saying it's too delicate. They would never like pull it up. They would never reach in and pull that up, because if your mind isn't ready to hold it, it's a mind thing. It's a mind fuck for sure. It's beautiful, but it like can put your body into shock. It's put people in the hospital that have done it before they're ready. And the way that people do it before they're ready, just quick thing about Kundalini, is if you're not ready and you try to force it with substances, you could end up with like hurting yourself, right? And that is how people end up. You can actually go down a bit of a rabbit hole online around Kundalini awakenings and people ending up in mental hospitals for a long period of time. I'm talking years. And it messes them up in their perspective because they weren't ready. I would never use a substance when it came to Kundalini. I would only ever use, Kundalini yoga, chanting, the intention. We have a Kundalini event in here that's very safe to use inside of the activations, I think, that you could use. So because you can't, because it's not safe to pull it up before you're ready, they're saying like no on that. Veronica's asking, I've had them come to me spontaneously. That's really special. A bunch of times, and they seem to just know what was needed. Oh, I love that. So that just sounds like a personal connection then, right? Okay, and Keegan's really excited for the energy healing. Oh, and Evelyn said, I think that's Kali. Okay, so to help with the Kundalini, that's awesome. So there's probably somebody specific maybe that understands those limitations, but again, never ever use substances with the intention of that, because it's just like so unsafe, like truly, truly, truly. Okay, good. I think that's it for questions. I think we're ready. Okay, so again, I just want to say, like, the more that you can relax, the more that you can relax and lean back and be like, I trust, whatever I'm ready for, like, bring it, kind of thing. That attitude of courage, but also a leaned back courage, like, yep, I'm ready, I'm open. That's going to get you like a lot more than any kind of a leaning forward, as we know, can push things away. So remember, when you lean forward, your energy is pushing. We want to lean back to receive, and we really want to picture heart opening, mind opening, all of you opening to receive. Now, I've never really tried to visualize my aura opening before. As I said that, I'm like, well, we're actually asking for auric help. So I wonder how we can open that. So maybe everyone's going to have a different visual that feels good about that. But if your aura is like almost like a sealed field around you, like the shape of a big egg around you, how can you open that up to receive? Can you open it like curtains, or do you want to open it at the top? Or do you want it to, I'm getting like waterfall imagery. I don't know how that helps us open it. Maybe because we turn it into, if we turn it into a liquid and not a solid and it's moving, then they can, let's see what happens, you know, because I'm going to channel whatever I'm going to channel when it happens in the moment, but just open. That's the key here, is open, 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 relaxed, courageous, but not in a, I'm going to battle, in a, I'm ready. Okay, good. All right. We're already recording. I want to ask you guys to now get yourselves really comfortable, and that means we're going into receiving mode. Okay. So, if you want to have any crystals nearby, grab them now. If you want a notebook and pen nearby so you can write things down afterwards so you don't forget. I always prepare myself for our sessions with that, so I hope that you do too. You know, like either candles, not right now because it's summer, it's too hot, but normally in the winter I'll get some candles going or some sage. Right now I've got like a lot of crystals, my notebook ready to go, you know, like just setting myself up to get the most out of this as possible. So take a minute to do that if you want to, and then let's settle in. Okay. Okay, so when you're ready, I'm going to ask you to lean back in your chair or against a wall, however you can lean back. And the leaning back is so important because, like I said, this, you can't open unless you remove tension. I really need you to lean back so that all the tension in your back and shoulders and neck can let go. Okay, so lean back. We're going to close the eyes. We're going to keep the eyes closed throughout this experience unless you feel inspired to open them. I'm going to keep my eyes closed. Okay, so I won't be able to see any questions or comments, but I will come to them after we do this. All right, so leaning back, eyes closed, placing hands over the heart chakra, right at the center of the chest. And we're gonna really help ourselves to relax and open with our breath. So I want you to take a nice deep inhale starting now. 2, 3, 4, hold the breath, and exhale. 2, 3, 4. Another deep breath in. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. And exhale. 2, 3, 4. Last deep breath in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. And exhale. 2, 3, 4. Good. I want you now to relax your arms and your hands. Where does it feel natural to place them right now? Just go ahead wherever it feels good. Wherever it feels the most like, I could just fall asleep, but you're not going to, but that amount of relaxation. Okay, and it's always good practice to place your palms up to receive through your palms and to read also. We read and scan energy this way. All right, so we're leaning back, our eyes are closed. We're just going to breathe in a relaxed way now. Anytime you feel the desire to take a deep breath, take one. And we're going to have our hands and our arms really heavy and relaxed down by our sides. I'm going to call into your space right now to create a level of sacred space. I'm sorry, I'm getting corrected already. I feel like this event is going to be so powerful. I just got corrected that we can't have the other angels here in our space as we always do, because we need to not be putting any energy fields up around ourselves right now. We need to not be altering anything right now. Wow, that's like, I've never not done that. But the Seraphim are sending me this message that they need full and open access. And so to please not do that. Okay, fair enough. Then what I will do to make everybody just feel really good and comfortable and it just to make sure that we are really anchored in safety is that I'm just going to call on God's source then. I'm going to call on Father, Mother, God. And I'm going to ask God's source to look down over us You don't need to send your light right now. Just look down over us, God Source, Father, Mother, God. See each one of us right now. See our physical form, see our soul within, see our auric field, see all that we are, mind, body, spirit, just all that we are, see us. And keep your eyes on us throughout this session and this experience so that we know that we are so safe in your gaze, so that we know that everything that's going to happen is going to be for our highest good, divinely timed and orchestrated for us. And if it's a part of our soul contracts, beautiful. And if it's not, then let's put it in there as a bonus, as something that is spontaneously beautiful, like a miracle would be. They're spontaneous. So let this be like a miracle and hold us in your gaze and hold us in your safety. And please also, God Source, can you make sure that the seraphims that are perfect for each person, whether that be we all get the same one or we get different ones, just like organize them as to be for our highest good as well, please. Okay. He's saying, of course, child, which is, typical. And now he's showing me that the seraphim are going to travel down into your space on a beam of light. And that the beam of light that's going to come down into your space right now is going to feel like it's coming in, like down through from the ceiling. But he said, but in truth, it comes from everywhere all at once. So I'm not sure even how to wrap my mind around that, but that's what he's saying. God Source is saying, like, the seraphim don't just come down from above, they come from all space and all time towards you now. Leaning back, opening up, I officially call on the seraphim. I call on the seraphim beings to hear me, to hear my call, to hear my request, and to answer. I have a group of people here with me live, and there will also be people watching this throughout space and time during the replay. I want you to note each one of us, and I want to ask for the seraphim that can help us to shift our auric field into the 15th dimensional frequency of you, of seraphim-like energy, and that can shift our auric field into the divine coded diamond plasma energy, which is a huge upgrade, to please come forward. And I ask those seraphims that are now assigned to us, as I see you choosing each one of us, I ask you to now come into our space gently and lovingly, but also so that we feel it. Let us feel it. We're not afraid of your power. We're so grateful for you to be coming in, and we're so excited to do this work together. So they're encouraging me to turn my chair away from my desk, so I'm like a little more open and accessible. So I'm doing that now. And I'm also feeling like the desire to just change where my feet are. So get really comfy. Listen to what your intuition is saying. Do you need to move just before they arrive? Do you need to be more open somehow in your body language? Okay, good. I felt like I needed to lift my feet up off the floor and put them on like a shelf. I don't know why, so I've done that. And shifted away a little bit from my desk. Okay. They're saying, we're coming to you now. Breathe and relax and feel as we start to enter into your space very slowly as we count to 10. And when 10 comes, we are fully with you. But we will come in gently so as not to create any shocks to the nervous system or to your frequency in a negative way. Let us come in like a trickle, and then a wave, and then the tide, and then the whole ocean. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep your third eye open. Breathe. Tilt your head up and visualize the seraphim that feels very large in your space, like it's filling your space. It's so large. Visualize it moving now directly into your energy field. So getting very close to you. The seraphim steps into your energy field and it closes its eyes and it takes a nice deep breath in to sense all that you are. And then in a beautiful exhale, it puts itself at ease in your energy fields. It's melting into who you are. It is becoming your energy fields. In order to transform them, it must infiltrate in a way, come right in and be a part of them. So it feels like it's melting into the layers of your closest aura, like your closest energy field, the one closest to your body. They're saying we're starting as close as we can to you, right against the skin, and then we're going to help you expand outwards. So the very first layer of the aura that's so close to your skin, it's touching your skin, it's emanating from your skin in a way. That they've turned themselves into liquid and they are running through your aura in a clockwise direction. So from the top of your head down the right-hand side to the ear, the shoulder, they're running around as if somebody was to draw an outline around your body. They're doing that now, down around each leg and then back up around the left, up the arm, and back up to the top. They just did one complete cycle around you where your aura is. And now they are, instead of cycling around, now they are spreading themselves out to fully fill that closest auric field to you. So that they are touching you in every inch of your body, all at once though. And now it's going to pulsate. And when there's pulsations, what they're doing is they're pulsing out of your inner aura what should not be there. And so they're saying for some of you, this might feel like a big, almost like a heartbeat, like a boom, boom, boom. With each pulse, things get projectiled out of your aura, your inner aura, the one that's sacred and the most close to you. We can't have entities in here. We can't have attachments in here. We got to get rid of anything that's not you, needs to go. And if it's you, it stays. Okay. So always just whenever big moments happen, remember, lean back, take a deep breath in. Feel the pulsation like a heartbeat starting now. Boom, boom. Ooh, felt something that like shoot off my thumb. I don't know what that was. Okay, we're doing another one. Big pulsation coming again. Boom, boom. It's like you're throwing shrapnel basically, but they're saying don't worry, like it's all being dissolved. Next big one of a pulsation to throw things out of you that don't belong there. Boom, boom. With each pulsation, there is a blast of light. What color do you see? Let's do another big boom, boom. Your color's clearing up right now. There was a mixture of colors in your inner aura, and it's becoming clearly one color. Your true color, like your soul color. I'm just going to be quiet for a minute maybe and hold space for those of you that are still experiencing the pulsations. Try to feel the stuff leaving, try to see the color clearing up. We're doing the inner aura and we're really clearing it deeply right now. This is your creator field. This is the field that you create from. It's the closest to you. And this is why when we manifest, it's so important that we have the frequency match to what we want, because our creator field is our first energy field. Good. Okay. So we've completely cleared that back to its original color, but we've cleared out anything that was not you. And we've like, they're saying like they've shined it up, you know, like they've made it sparkly and new again. They're saying this inner aura field, the frequency is higher than the 15th dimension that we were asking for. And they said, as it should be, because your soul frequency is outside of all dimension. So now it's just the frequency here is that of God source, right? But an individuated piece of God source with its own personality and its own color and its own everything. But it's too high to measure in a dimensional way. So they're just saying, just know that we have completely cleared the color back to its original form and the frequency back to its original form, that this is your soul signature frequency and your creator field and the closest to you. And now we're going to the next layer. So the next layer is how you, they're showing me the word communicate, how you communicate with the outside world and others, the ways that you communicate, interact with people, nature, yourself. Like this is the field that you interact with others from. And so this field's a little bit bigger, it feels, but less dense. The one that was so close to you is so dense. This next field is bigger, but it's not nearly as dense. It's not supposed to be. It has a lot more play for exchanges of energy here. So we're going to the second auric field, which is about how we interact with the outside world and people. Okay. So they're moving away from you a little bit and going into your second field now. Feel the feeling of something like moving away from your skin and going into the secondary field. Again, they start to spin really, really quickly. They're going in a clockwise direction, spinning. They're saying this is like an activation where we get it moving, where we get the energy moving. So they spin, 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 spin all the way around your body in this second field. Okay. And now when they start to slow down, then they kind of melt again and fill in the whole field. And I'm seeing in my field, I'm seeing these third eye visions of all of these eyes, like they're looking right now at the field. So I saw all their eyes open and they're looking at my field and they're like, there's stuff here that's not this lifetime. There's stuff here from past lives and interactions that you've had with other worlds or souls that have been positive and negative and neutral too. And they're like, we need to really clean this up. We really need to clean this up. So they're showing me some visions of past lives that I know of my own were pretty traumatic. Like I'm seeing ancient Egypt a lot right now. That's always a doozy for everybody. So I'm seeing some past life stuff, and you might be seeing that too. Open yourself to visualizing that. You've really got to just tilt your head up and take the tension out of your forehead. Okay, remember to receive, we have to lean back and open up our foreheads. Okay, so they're saying we want to clear this field. And we're not going to take away your beautiful soul memories. And we're not going to take away the lessons, because those are gold. And we're not going to take away how it made you like grow and gave you depth and just gives you your own flavor. Like again, your aura is part of your soul signature. We can't take that away. But what they are going to remove and what they are going to take away right now is the shadows. The shadows are the grief and the fear, and the shadows are the ways that what we would call like past life wounds, past life trauma, witch wounds, all of that energy that feels shadowy, that's making you, keeping you small. All of the energy that feels shadowy, that's like oh, I better not, but what if it happens again? But what if, right? So we've got to like clear that out. So I want you to visualize a big wing. They're showing me a wing, a white wing, like an angel wing, right? And it's going to go in the opposite direction now, counterclockwise, and it's going to do a big sweep. Nothing, they're saying nothing gets by this wing, no shadows. The light can pass through, and the good memories and the lessons, all the things that we said that we want to keep will pass through. But the shadows will stick to the wing. Okay, so see a white wing with feathers, maybe there's eyes on it, and see it spreading out over the top of your head now. And then see it going big fan. It's a big fan, it's huge. And see it going in a counterclockwise direction, sweeping through your auric field slowly, because they want to slowly gather up like it's sweeping any shadows that are in that field. So let's visualize that now. I'm going to be quiet again as this goes around for you. And I want you to try to feel it, like try to feel as the shadows are picked up, see what you can learn from it. And then when they come back up to the top, they'll have all the shadows in their wing. Okay, so for me, as that swept around, it felt like it was kind of going in, I don't even know how to describe this. Like it was going in a counterclockwise way around my body, but it was also going a little bit back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on the way down. Like a broom, I guess, like the way it should be. But it made my body like move, like I could feel myself like rocking forwards and backwards as it went around. And then as it came up my right hand side, I felt a pain in my arm, which is interesting because when they did the first shrapnel bits, it was also my right thumb. And now my right like inner elbow was, anyway, I don't know what the attachment there that's being removed, but I'm grateful for it. And then when they get up to the top and they have all of these shadows held in this wing, almost like two wings holding all of these shadows, I can hear them talking. I can hear the shadows whispering. And it's so weird. And I think it's like a playback of memories, right? Like feels a lot like past life stuff, but also childhood stuff. And it's like it's these shadows, how we get stuck on loops with things where like something bad happens and then we keep replaying it and we don't mean to. And I don't know, I can just hear it whispering and both my ears just want to like pop out of my head. It's crazy. Okay. So they're going to take those out now. The way that they're removing that fully is they're going straight up from the crown, and then they just take it out of your room like it goes above your ceiling. It's far gone from you now. Okay, amazing. So that was the second layer of communication and interaction with the outside world. Okay, I feel like there's more that has to happen in that layer. 1 second. Okay, so they're saying that they can definitely insert a completely new wavelength into this channel. They're calling it a channel. Okay. They can insert a completely new wavelength into this. And they want us to know that you're probably going to see a dominant color that they're inserting here. This isn't the diamond coated plasma yet. This is something else. And I want you to know that everyone might receive something different here. But I am seeing, like, for me, I'm seeing for some reason, like grand central sun, like this strong golden light is being poured in, and they always seem to go to the left side first. So they're pouring in. The way that they swept the shadows away was counterclockwise. Now they're going in and they are, oh, they just showed me wings dipped in like a golden color. So for me, I'm getting golden and yellow. And again, you might get a different color. So tune into yours, but know that the wing is now dipped in the color that you need, like a paintbrush. And it's going to go around and paint the outer walls of that channel of your auric field. So let's just breathe while that happens. And just receive that gift. There is a lot of sparkling happening. I wonder if everybody else is seeing that too. Like, I feel like the sun is shining on the color and it's just constantly moving the way that the sunlight sparkles on a body of water, like an ocean or a lake. And when it's like the waves are kind of moving, you see all these sparkles dancing across. That's what it feels like right now. Like, it's my auric field is moving like water, and this sparkling is dancing across it. It's really beautiful. Okay, so that new wavelength looks like a color to us because our eyes perceive of things right now, in a way that we can understand in our mind, in a human way. But they're saying for them, they don't necessarily just see it as a color that they painted in. They see it as like something that's alive. Like, they see it as like a form of life, some kind of like a life force that we're going to be collaborating with, and it's going to integrate itself into us. So something like life force, something that's alive, something that has intelligence, something that is deeply a part of us, connected to us, maybe like oversoul energy. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It feels like a super high perspective from like a version of us that's way higher than we are. So it is still us, but it's yeah. Okay. It's like a brand new wavelength in there. And that's our way of interacting with others, the world, communication, all of that. So we're going to go to the next field, and each field gets bigger, and each field feels less dense. Like, it feels very airy now because we're in these outer reaches of the auric field. And this is supposedly the layer that contains our outward actions specific to our purpose. So, like, how are you here to be of service? What are your particular gifts? How are you going to put those into action? How are you going to reach as many people as you can? How are you going to help as many people as you can? How are you going to spread, you know, the light and serve the light? So there's a lot obviously in this auric field. And it feels like tools, like our spiritual gifts and our spiritual tools are in here. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do is they're going to melt themselves again. They keep reforming and then melting and then reforming and then melting. And sometimes I just see a piece of them, like the wing. Well, right now they've like melted back again, and they're melting into that third field. And they're doing the thing where they spin really quickly through it, and they're going clockwise when they spin. So they're spinning really quickly around your body, but in this third field, which is further away from you. See if you can feel the clockwise spinning sensation a little further out from your body, just by being quiet and tuning in. You might feel tingles. You might feel the need to take some deep breaths. And then they're going to slow down, slow down, slow down. And then when they come to a halt, they're going to spread out through that layer so that the entire third layer of your auric field is filled with this seraphim being. And you might see the eyes again as they look around, what's here. They're showing me doors that are locked and closed. Some are even chained closed. And that's like something stopping your access to your gifts. And they're showing lots of open doors too, though. So there's like a lot of open doors where you've been accessing your gifts. And when those doors open and you look out of them, you can see stars. Like space. Like the galactic, gorgeous landscape. But there are these other doors that some are wooden, some are steel, some are just locked a little bit, like a little key. And then others are like steel door, trapped, closed, chains. Really interesting to know that all of us have gifts that we haven't touched. And you can kind of maybe get like an idea of how many of your gifts are active, like half, 50%, 40%. Like, what do you think? Have a look around, feel into it. And for the ones that are locked down, you get to decide what you want to do here. I'm not going to blast open everybody's gifts if that's not what they're ready for. And you can look at the door and decide how it feels, right? Each door. So I want you to look at the first door that's locked up. Maybe it's a little bit lighter. Maybe it's just like a little wooden door and maybe you've misplaced the key, but it's not some big, huge, bank vault or anything. It's something lighter. Find a door that seems lighter, a little bit easier to open, okay? One that you want to open. How about that? And I want you to step into your auric field alongside the seraphim. And I want you to, in your mind's eye, you just have to visualize it for it to be true. I want you to walk up to this door. And you're in a field of what feels like this clear kind of astral energy around you. With many, many doors. And you're walking up to one that you know you're ready to unlock. And you look at the seraphim, maybe you just see an eye or a wing, it doesn't matter really, but look at it however you can look at it, try to look at it right now. And with your eye contact, I want you to let that seraphim being that know that you want to unlock that and that you're ready and that you are claiming the right to that gift. You have free will. It's yours. No one can keep it from you if you claim it. I want you to claim it. So I want you to say something like that to your seraphim, where you say like, this is my gift. I'm choosing to unlock it right now. I claim whatever is behind that door. It's for me. And then this feather falls out of the sky of the space that you're in, flitters down to your feet, and you lean down and you pick it up, and it has a key on the end of it. It's a feather, but there's like a key shape on the end. And you know what to do. Unlock the door. Take a deep breath and do it. And when you've done that, step through. and bask in the visions and the feelings that it brings you, and know that this is big. Let it into your whole self. Float into it, float around with it, let it in. Beautiful. It's yours. And if you can float back to the door and back into your auric field, but just leave the door open. Maybe the door even dissolves for you, or maybe the lock does, but it's going to be open from now on. I want you to pick out the next door, whatever you think. And you don't have to if you don't want to either. And you can also choose whatever kind of looking door you want. It can be maybe a more of a medium door now. So maybe now instead of a little wooden door with a lock, maybe now we're looking at a steel door with like a big bar across it. Maybe there's even chains crossed across the front of it. It's up to you. Whatever one you're ready for. I want you to go up to it. I want you to place your palm on the door, and I want you to feel it. Close your eyes and feel it. Maybe the metal feels cool under your hand. Maybe you feel a pulsation coming from the other side of the door. Pulsation of magic so great, calling to you. It's a part of you. It doesn't want to be disconnected from you anymore. And if you want to, you can look at that seraphim again and let them know exactly what you want to do. And if you choose to unlock it, the chains just fall and they clang onto the ground. And the iron and the steel bars across pull back on their own. The door even unlatches on its own, and you hear a big sound of air pressure as it opens. It's ready for you to open it fully and to walk through. Do so now. Maybe you're walking into a world or a lifetime that you had. And I want you to be open to whatever you see behind that door. If it's a version of you using this beautiful gift in a lifetime, you can trust yourself with your magic. You don't have to be afraid of being too powerful. Your intentions are so pure in this life, and you need all the power you can get to make your dreams come true in a world that's very muted and heavy. Go ahead and claim this magic as your own. Go ahead and claim this gift, and don't be afraid. You're not going to get power hungry. You're not going to turn into ego. It's not in you. You're here to be of service, and you're going to use it to serve you and your family and humanity and Gaia. Trust yourself with your gifts and trust yourself to be powerful. Claim it. Very good. And when you're ready to come back through the door, bringing with you a whole other new side of yourself, come on back through. And if you want to do one final door, we can do that together now, because there was one that was really big, like a bank vault with like the spinning knob in the center, like a steering wheel that like seals it, air shuts it. There's maybe like a special code or an eye scan, or like it's seriously locked down. It is so seriously locked down. But you are the only one who can choose to open it. And if you want to, then you can participate in this door as well. Maybe now you walk up to the most intimidating door that you can find in this place. And you're like, literally, what are they trying to contain back there? But it's just a part of you. And yes, you're that powerful, and no, you don't have to be afraid of it. You can trust yourself with this. And so if you'd like to, and this is all your choice, you don't have to do this. But if you'd like to, you can walk up to this biggest door yet with confidence and determination. And you know what to do. Turn to your Seraphim, look them in the eye, and tell them what you need. And as the thought connects with them, they give you the power to unlock the sphere self, and the door just starts spinning open. And it's huge and it's heavy, and you might have to heave it open. But you do. And when you walk into this door, just like a bank vault, there's so much abundance here. It's like piles of coins, almost like a dragon lair, how they hoard like just like mountains of jewels and coins and all of these things, and it's all in here. So it makes sense that it was a bank vault. And as you step in, the coins are clinking around your feet, and it's like walking through a very strange desert or snowstorm where your feet are sinking down a little bit as you walk, and it's very noisy. And as you walk deeper and deeper into this vault of your abundance, of your gifts, of your magic, of your story, of your truth, you see a huge part of yourself laying there. Maybe it is a dragon, but you decide what you see. It's like a It's like a version of you that you've been denying. And I want you to face it. Whatever it is, I want you to walk right up to it. Close. Like to look it right in the eye or to place a hand on it in on whatever part of it feels right. Whatever kind of huge, maybe beast or whatever this is, you are safe. It's been very lonely and locked away in here. And only you can tame it. And you do that with love and compassion. So walk up to your huge, huge part of yourself that you've been denying and get a really good look at it. And I'm walking up slowly, but as I'm walking up, I'm saying, I trust you. I trust you. And it's staring back at me. And as I get closer, we place our foreheads together. And it sighs a big sigh of relief. And I'm not going to leave it here. I'm going to walk it outside the door with me. And I'm going to leave the door open to all this gorgeous treasure and abundance. But I'm going to take this being, this version of me, this creature, even if it's scary, I love it. I trust it. We're telling a new story now, so it doesn't matter what happened before. We're starting over in our relationship together, this piece of me. And it follows behind me like a sweet, loyal puppy. And it comes through the door with me. And it's so big, my auric field can't hold it, so it comes into the room with me, almost sitting around me like a spirit guide would. And we're going to work on working together. But it's free now. And it feels right. Beautiful. So you can come back into this auric field and open more doors when you're ready. Call in your Seraphim guide to help you unlock them. And the Seraphim is showing me now that it's ready to, it's saying it wants to put the diamond coated plasma in this layer because it's an amplifier. Just like a clear quartz would be an amplifier. Diamond coating is an amplifier. And it's saying, let's pour the diamond coated plasma into this layer, the one we want to amplify the most, which is our mission and our purpose and our gifts and our magic and the way that we're going to be of service and how much we're going to help and how many people we can reach. All of that. Yes, let's put it here. And so they're showing like at the very top above your crown chakra in this third layer though, so a little bit up from you, that they are opening at the very top, creating an opening, and then they are injecting, literally like with a syringe, silver plasma that is like, looks kind of like goo or gel, like thick, thick, thick. But in it are all of these little diamonds, like diamond shards, diamond pieces that are amplifiers of your power and your electricity and your gifts and all of that. And as this fills in the third layer of your aura, as it slowly, slowly slides down from both sides from the top until it comes all the way down under your feet and closes the loop, it's sparkling like mad. It's amplifying and reflecting your gifts in all directions. It's creating this rainbow light that comes off of you. And they're saying it's like armor as well. It's like a layer of protection, like armor around you. They're saying like nothing is going to penetrate that. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I want to ask the Seraphim if there's anything else. No, not to do, but they want to say something. Okay, 1 second. So feel into this message with your heart if it's for you. It's time that you start using all that you are and all that you have in this life. Everything has been given to you. The truth about your multi-dimensionality is that you have access to every life you've ever lived, and that it's to serve you in this life, so that this one life might turn into not just healing one life, but you healing backwards and forwards in time as you access all of these versions of yourselves and your gifts and these timelines. It's all there for you. Nothing is being held back from you. Nothing. The only thing being held back from you is where you block yourself. And then that's something to heal and release. But no one is holding things back from you but you and your fear. And so it's really time for you to understand that this lifetime is an opportunity, because it's not all about service to others. It's also about, for you, service to yourself. It has to be balanced always. So as much as we be of service to others, we also need to be of service to self. And the service that we're here to do for ourselves is massive quantum healing, which means healing beyond this life. Imagine healing something like 100 lifetimes in one lifespan. In your life right now, imagine healing 100 lives. It's totally possible. That's a high goal, but it's possible. But any amount that you heal beyond the life that you're in is such a bonus to your soul. Because when you heal into the layers of the soul, not just the top layer that you're always on the surface layer, if you start to go deeper into past life layers of who you were into your soul, and you release the heaviness and the density and the trauma and the grief from those, you're changing on a soul level. You're letting go of the dense, heavy energies that's been holding you back for lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And when this life ends, you will be unlimited as to where you can go. Because of course, we're all going to cross over and go to the in-between place. But then when it's time to decide that you want to come back and play again, you don't have to come back here if you don't want to. In fact, you'd be able to choose wherever you wanted to go, because your frequency would be so much lighter, because your karma would be cleared, because you wouldn't have anything that you needed to business to work out. Oh God, now I have to go back to earth because I didn't work out this with this person. Or no, you can do it. You can do it not just for this life, but for all these lifetimes, with your soul tribe and your karma and your soul lessons and your ancestral patterns, all of that stuff, you have access to it. So keep diligently working away at that. Your focus needs to be as much inward as you put into the outward. Yes, we want you to be of service. Yes, we want you to help others, but we want you to make sure that you also come out of this earth life as the most healed version of yourself that you've seen in a very, very long time. Feeling the most free and with all of the opportunities open to you as to what you want to do next. No more chains on you. No more chains on you. Chaining you to people or to places. No more. Say no more to yourself. It's done. Let it be done. Set yourself free. Beautiful. Thank you so much to the Seraphim angels. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please help us to integrate everything as smoothly as we can. Please help us to understand everything that happened here today. And please feel free to continue to bring, let the information keep flowing in, especially around the gifts that we've unlocked. Help us to understand those and work with them to serve ourselves, but also others. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so the Seraphim are now pulling back from your auric field very gently, pulling back from the heart and the mind and the aura, slowly leaving the space, like the room that you're in, very slowly pulling out now, pulling away from you and heading back to where they came from. And you might feel a sensation of like the room being a little empty or hollow, and that's a sign that they've gone. And then to come back into your body, I want you to wiggle your fingers and toes. And I want you to, I think we need to all have a good drink of water too, if you have water with you. Oh, I feel so thirsty. Okay, so I would love to open the floor to anyone that feels like they can talk right now. If anybody wanted to share anything about maybe the gifts that got opened, or really just about any part of that experience at all, I'm going to quickly make a note of what opened up in my doors so I don't forget. And I feel like there's some mysteries, like a lot of that was just kind of quick, like, oh, we're going to open this up and we're going to go in and we're going to see whatever. And especially the last one, I'm not really sure what's going to come from that, but it felt so big. And so this is where it's on you now to like take this, because I can do the work in your energy fields and I can open the doors and I can bring it through. And then it's on you to like go deeper and find out how it applies to you and how you're going to work with it and what it means, and to maintain the openness too. Keegan said, I felt the need to hold back on the third door for some reason. So I did. I totally felt that multiple people felt that way. That makes so much sense. If you're just coming into your gifts, let's not overwhelm ourselves, but I had to give it, it's your free will. So I wanted to give you the opportunity, but I feel like more than just you held back on the third one. Evelyn say, I was going to say I opened the doors, but I don't know what I unlocked. Fair enough. I got glimpses of clairvoyant visions of stuff that I'm gonna have to figure out. You know what I mean? Like it's like a mystery, but it's beautiful. All of them are a mystery, but they had like a really strong feeling to them and very specific imagery. So I know I can put it together. But yeah, like I don't actually fully understand. It was too big to understand in one sitting. You know what I mean? So it's kind of exciting. I love a good mystery, especially when it's about yourself. Oh, very cool. I love that, Keegan. So you were feeling into the first door and it felt like abundance. Beautiful. Amazing. Good. It's right there for you then. You didn't have to work for it. It was like ready, which is so beautiful. Good. Okay, you guys. Well, I hope everybody's asleep. There's like nobody here. So I'm going to if nobody wants to share, then I'll let y'all go. Hopefully you're not all sleeping, but if you are, it's probably meant to be that you are too. And I just wanted to say thank you for doing the deep work, because I think it's really important that we like go deeper than a lot of people are talking about, or I don't know, there's nothing surface level about this community. We're always just going so freaking deep into stuff every time. And I'm so grateful that there are like kindred spirits that want to do this with me. So thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm gonna let you all go. Oh, good. You're so out of it. Yeah, I feel a little woo. But I feel good. I feel like really like lighter. I feel lighter, like all those layers. Oh, I just feel so much better and it's really good. It's really exciting. Okay. Thank you so much to everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Of course, I'll let you know when this replay is up in the chat. If you want to share stuff in the chat that maybe you weren't ready to share, please do. I'd really love to hear about your experience. It means so much to me to understand kind of what you're going through and just feeling not alone in what I'm also going through, right? So thank you so much. You're so welcome, Keegan. You're so welcome, everybody. Have a great rest of your night, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye, everybody.